Life's a journey that rarely feels like a straight line, does it?
Yeah.
Especially when you're trying to achieve something really meaningful.
Absolutely. Progress isn't always linear.
Yeah, exactly. Whether it's, personal goal, improving your health, or maybe navigating a path to recovery, it often feels like
Mm.
this dance of advances and setbacks, a constant push and pull.
Mm-hmm. It can definitely test your resolve.
It really can.
That
Leaves you wondering if you're, actually making progress sometimes.
for sure.
But what if there was a lens, maybe? A
Mm-hmm.
way to look at these challenges with more clarity, more purpose?
That would be helpful.
Well, today we're doing a deep dive into exactly that. We're exploring this transformative space where meaningful forward movement happens right at the intersection of intention and participation.
Where commitment meets action.
Precisely. Think of it as where your internal promise, your commitment, really connects with what you do externally. So our mission for you today, drawing from this really insightful essay, is to give you a clearer roadmap. We'll explore how consciously aligning what you intend with how you participate can unlock this powerful catalyst for transformation, helping you move forward, whatever the obstacle.
And these ideas, they're rooted in treatment settings.
They are particularly vital there, but honestly, as you'll see, the applicability is, well, it's pretty much universal.
Makes sense. We all face these kinds of challenges.
We do. So let's start by peeling back the layers on these two core concepts, intention and participation. What are we really talking about when we say intention?
Well, intention, at its core, it's your conscious commitment. Think of it like an internal compass you set.
Okay, a compass.
Yeah, it orients your thoughts, your desires firmly towards a specific path, maybe healing or growth. It's that quiet, often really profound promise you make to yourself.
Like vowing sobriety or engaging in therapy.
Exactly. Or practicing new coping skills, or genuinely committing to rebuilding parts of your life. One recovery specialist put it quite well. Your intentions can be your friend or your enemy, depending on your level of focus and clarity.
That's powerful, focus and clarity.
Right. And what's fascinating is that it's much more than just a fleeting wish. It's really the active ingredient, the thing that separates genuine commitment from, well, wishful thinking.
So it's an internal declaration.
A declaration of purpose, exactly.
I like that internal declaration of purpose, not just hoping, but deciding. And I remember reading, I think it was Psychology Today, highlighting how crucial self-awareness is here.
Oh, absolutely critical.
It helps you understand your why, right?
Hmm.
Your values, motivations, turning that abstract hope into something concrete.
Precisely. It grounds the intention.
Okay. So if intention is the compass, the inner promise,
Yeah.
what's participation then? How does that fit in?
Participation is where that compass actually steers the ship. It's taking that intention and translating it into tangible behavior, real action.
Right. It's the doing part.
It's the doing part. It's not enough to just know where you want to go. You have to, hoist the sails, grab the rudder, navigate the actual waves.
So showing up for therapy sessions.
That's part of it, yes. But also actively practicing mindfulness, maybe sharing honestly in group, even when it's really uncomfortable, applying those new skills when things get tough.
And getting back up after you stumble.
Crucially, yes. Persistently returning to the work, even after a setback. Participation transforms those internal commitments into lived, felt experience.
It feels like the engine room, maybe. But this is where that disconnect can be so incredibly frustrating. We've all been there.
Oh, definitely.
What happens when your intention is crystal clear, I want this change, but your participation just isn't lining up? What does that gap actually look like day to day?
Well, that disconnect often leads to deep frustration, stagnation. Sometimes it almost feels like a sense of self-betrayal.
Yeah, I can see that.
You might genuinely intend to change, maybe swear off a destructive habit, but then find your actions are, well, half-hearted or maybe even completely contrary to your intention.
Like the example from the treatment center.
Exactly. They described it so vividly. One of the most difficult parts of recovery. You may have no intention whatsoever of using or drinking, but you find yourself spending your paycheck on drugs or alcohol and relapsing.
Wow.
That chasm, that space between knowing what you intend and actually doing it, that's precisely where progress stalls out, leads to cycles of regret, missed opportunities.
It's like having the perfect map, but just refusing to take a step.
Precisely.
That's a powerful image, and unfortunately, way too relatable for many, I suspect. But then, the magic, as the essay calls it, happens when intention and participation don't just coexist, but they actually converge.
Right, when they align.
Yeah. That's when this synergistic virtuous cycle kicks in. Each one strengthens the other, building this incredible momentum for sustainable progress.
It stops being two separate things and becomes one unified force.
Like a perfectly synchronized engine. Okay, so we've established what intention is. Now let's go a bit deeper. What's actually happening psychologically that makes intention so powerful?
Ugh, this is where it gets really interesting. Intention is deeply rooted in our psychological makeup. Think about self-determination theory.
All right.
It suggests we have three innate psychological needs. Autonomy, feeling in control of our choices and behaviors.
Right, being the driver.
Exactly. Then competence, that sense of being effective, capable, like you can actually do things.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, relatedness, the need to feel connected, understood, supported by others.
Okay, autonomy, competence, relatedness.
Yes. Now, when your intention aligns with these fundamental needs, say, you feel you genuinely chose treatment, that's autonomy.
Got it.
Or you see yourself learning new coping skills and feel more capable, that's competence. Or you feel supported by peers, that's relatedness. When that happens, your motivation becomes much more intrinsic. It comes from within.
So it's not just external pressure, it's an internal fire.
Precisely. You're much more persistent, more driven when those needs are met by your intention.
That makes total sense. If you feel like you're driving the car and you know how, you'll keep going.
Yeah.
And this sounds like it connects really well with goal-setting theory, too.
It does, beautifully. Goal-setting theory tells us that specific and challenging goals, especially when backed by strong commitment, that intention piece lead to higher performance.
So vague goals don't cut it.
Not nearly as well. Compare a fuzzy intention like, I want to get better, with something really specific. I will attend all my therapy sessions for the next month, actively participate in each one, and complete my assignments weekly.
Much clearer.
Right. That specificity doesn't just solidify the intention, it creates a clear, actionable roadmap. It makes success tangible, measurable, you know if you're doing it.
So intention isn't always this, like, huge lightning bolt moment, is it?
Oh.
How does it show up in the everyday, in the quiet moments?
Good question. It manifests in many ways. It might be that quiet internal promise you make, maybe just to stay sober one more day, especially when things are tough.
Just one more day.
Yeah. Or it could be a conscious shift in mindset, moving from feeling like a victim of circumstances to being an active agent in your own recovery.
Taking ownership.
Taking ownership. It can also involve digging deep into your core values, figuring out why this change is so profoundly necessary for you. You know, one recovery center described it beautifully as a declaration of self-worth.
Wow, a declaration of self-worth. I like that.
Powerful, isn't it? It's basically saying, I am worth this effort. My well-being matters.
That really reframes it. But intention, even being so powerful, it has vulnerabilities, right? It's not an invincible shield. What can undermine it?
You're absolutely right. It can be fragile. Past failures, past traumas, those can breed a sense of hopelessness that really erodes your belief that future success is even possible.
Makes it hard to even form the intention.
Exactly. And external pressures, too, from family, society, maybe perceived judgment, they can clash with your internal drive, creating this deep ambivalence, this internal conflict.
So what happens then?
Well, this is where participation becomes so critical again, but not just as the result of intention. Active participation actually acts as a reinforcer of intention, especially during those vulnerable times.
So doing the actions strengthens the belief.
Precisely. It's through doing the hard things, taking those steps, engaging with the process, that your intention gets solidified, strengthened. It builds that foundation.
Okay, that's a key insight. So we've covered intention. Now let's shift focus to the action side participation.
Right.
And I suspect, like you said, it's not just about clocking in.
Not at all.
What truly defines active engagement?
Participation, in its richest sense, is active engagement. It goes way beyond just being physically present.
Okay.
It really demands vulnerability, requires honesty, sometimes brutal honesty with yourself, and involves the hard, often uncomfortable work of self-exploration.
Can you give an example?
Sure. Think about the difference between just passively listening to a therapist versus actively engaging in a tough dialogue, asking hard questions, challenging yourself.
Right. Or just filling out a worksheet versus really reflecting on it.
Exactly. One is just going through the motions, maybe compliance driven by external factors. The other is potentially transformative, driven by an inner desire to understand and change.
So it's clearly a spectrum then, not just on or off.
Yeah.
Can you walk us through those levels so we can kind of recognize them?
Absolutely. It's helpful to think of it on a spectrum. At the lowest end, you have minimal engagement. This is someone basically just going through the motions.
Physically there, but mentally checked out.
Pretty much. They might attend sessions, but they're silent, offer little effort. Often it's driven purely by external pressures, like a court order or a family ultimatum, present, but not really there.
Okay, what's next?
Then you have compliant engagement. Here, there's more involvement, but it's still mainly driven by external expectations, following instructions, doing what's asked, but without full internalization or deep questioning.
Doing what you're told, basically.
Yeah, largely. Then moving up, you get to active engagement. This is where you see a genuine desire for change bubbling up.
How does that look?
Asking questions, challenging your own beliefs, actively partnering with the therapist or group. There's a real investment in the process.
Okay, that sounds like where the real work starts.
Yeah.
And what's the top level? The ultimate goal.
That would be transformative engagement. This is the highest level. It's marked by this deep, internalized commitment to growth.
So it goes beyond the therapy room.
Absolutely. You're not just doing treatment, you're actively integrating what you learn into your daily life. You take full ownership, become your own advocate, really the architect of your ongoing change. The learning sticks and becomes part of who you are.
That's the goal. Wow,
Okay.
that makes perfect sense. But what helps someone move along that spectrum towards that transformative engagement? Because it sounds like it takes a lot.
It does. It's complex. Several key factors play a huge role. First, the therapeutic alliance is massive.
The relationship with a therapist.
Exactly. A quality of that relationship, trust, empathy, respect, can be a powerful catalyst. Or, if it's poor, a significant barrier.
Okay, what else?
Then there's your perceived relevance and benefits. If you don't genuinely believe the treatment is relevant to your life or that it will actually help you, your engagement will naturally lag.
You have to see the point.
You do. And finally, we can't ignore practical barriers: lack of transport, childcare issues, financial strain, and emotional barriers.
Like fear, shame.
Precisely. Fear, shame, deep-seated resistance. These can severely limit engagement. Addressing all of these barriers proactively, head-on, is absolutely essential for progress.
Which brings us right to the core of this deep dive, doesn't it? That true power is unleashed when intention and participation fuse.
Exactly. When they really converge, something powerful happens. It creates this virtuous cycle.
Okay, explain that.
Well, a clear, deeply held intention provides the fuel, right, the motivation for consistent participation. But then that active, consistent participation, it doesn't just impact the world around you, it feeds back and strengthens and deepens your original intention.
Ah, so the action reinforces the belief.
Precisely.
Yeah.
Every successful step, every skill you acquire, every moment of honest sharing, it reinforces your commitment, boosts your belief in yourself. It's this powerful, positive feedback loop.
Compared to when they're disconnected, it's like wheels spinning independently, going nowhere.
That's a great analogy. Total stagnation.
So it's like two gears perfectly meshing, driving each other forward, picking up speed. What are the specific ways this forward movement happens? How does that transformation actually manifest itself?
We see several key mechanisms ignite when alignment happens. First, there's a huge increase in self-efficacy and empowerment.
Believing you can do it.
Yes, and more. As you actively participate and start seeing positive results, that belief grows. It can even start to sort of rewire things, creating this expectation of success. It fosters a real sense of agency, of control.
Okay, that's huge. What else?
Second, you see the tangible development of new skills and habits. Participation is the practice field.
Where you try things out.
Exactly. Mindfulness, communication skills, sticking to meds. You're turning the why of your intention into the practical how of participation. Third, there's enhanced self-awareness and insight.
Learning about yourself.
Right. Through consistent introspection, reflection during participation, you get a much deeper understanding of your struggles, your triggers, your patterns.
And finally,
maybe most crucially, it builds resilience against setbacks. A strong intention acts as your compass when things get tough.
guiding you back.
Exactly. And consistent participation builds the actual coping skills and the support systems you need to rebound powerfully when you do stumble, which you probably will.
That makes resilience feel less like magic and more like something built.
Yeah.
Those mechanisms really paint a clear picture. Can you give us some real-world examples, case studies maybe, where this alignment really makes a difference?
Absolutely. Let's take addiction recovery. A deep, heartfelt desire for sobriety, that's the intention. Couple that with consistent participation. Attending 12-step meetings, really engaging with a sponsor, committing to therapy, actively working to avoid triggers.
Tangible actions.
Right, that combination leads to tangible, sustained progress. And what's interesting, studies show that while many achieve their goal, the quality and consistency of participation are massive factors in that success.
It's not just checking boxes.
Not at all. Or think about mental health treatment.
Mm.
An intention to, say, manage depression and regain joy.
Okay.
Combine that with participation in CBT, actively challenging those negative thoughts, doing behavioral activation exercises, sticking with medication if prescribed. That leads to really effective management. Patient engagement consistently improves outcomes and satisfaction.
Makes sense. Any other examples?
Even physical rehabilitation, the intention is clear. Regain full mobility after an injury or surgery. The participation. Rigorous, often painful, physical therapy, doing those home exercises diligently, maybe dietary changes. That alignment is what leads to regaining function. There's even research showing chronically ill patients who are highly engaged in their care tend to live longer.
Wow. So engagement literally changes outcomes across the board.
The evidence strongly suggests so. The alignment of why and how is powerful.
Okay. So what does this all mean practically? For someone in treatment now, or maybe just any of us looking to make a big change, how do we actively foster intention and participation and keep them working together?
Great question. To foster intention, especially when someone feels ambivalent, techniques like motivational interviewing, MI, are fantastic.
How does that work?
It's very client-centered. It helps people explore and resolve their own mixed feelings, connecting them to their own reasons for change, asking questions like, what are your hopes? Or how would life be different if you made this change?
Getting to the why.
Exactly. Value clarification exercises do that too, helping people identify core values like family, health, freedom to anchor their intentions. Then there's collaborative goal setting.
Making smart goals.
Yes, making sure goals are specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. Crucially, the person is involved in setting them. And simple psychoeducation, teaching people how intention influences action, even neuroplasticity, can be empowering.
Understanding the mechanism. Okay, so that's fostering intention.
Yeah.
What about encouraging the participation part? Making sure people actually engage.
Encouraging participation.
Yeah.
Well, it starts fundamentally with creating a safe and supportive environment. Trust, psychological safety, these are non-negotiable for real vulnerability and honesty.
Makes sense.
Then you absolutely have to proactively address those practical and emotional barriers. Arrange transport if needed, help with childcare, acknowledge and work through the fear and shame. Don't ignore them.
Meet people where they are.
Exactly. Also, providing clear expectations and feedback is crucial. People need to know what's expected, why they're doing certain things, and how they're progressing. And don't underestimate celebrating small wins.
Acknowledging the effort.
Yes. Acknowledging attendance, praising the effort to practice a skill, recognizing when someone shares something difficult, it builds momentum, makes the next step feel less daunting.
So even with all that, what if there's still a gap? That classic, I know I should, but I just can't seem to do it feeling. How do we bridge that specific gap?
The intention participation gap. It's common. Behavioral activation strategies can be really effective here, especially if motivation is low.
What does that involve?
It's kind of like acting your way into a new way of thinking, deliberately scheduling and engaging in activities that bring even small amounts of pleasure or accomplishment, even when you don't feel like it, just to kickstart positive momentum.
Like it till you make it almost.
In a structured, therapeutic way, yes. Also, relapse prevention planning needs to explicitly focus on this alignment. Identifying high-risk situations where intention might wobble or participation might drop off, and having concrete plans ready.
Planning for the disconnect.
Right, and specific therapeutic interventions for ambivalence, drawing on MI again, CBT, DBT techniques, are designed precisely to help people work through those mixed feelings and strengthen their commitment to align intention and action.
Tools for the internal conflict. Okay, but this raises another important question. Even with these strategies, what are some of the biggest, most stubborn hurdles people face? Those internal and external barriers that just keep getting in the way.
Oh, they can be significant. Internally, you often see a deep fear of failure, rooted in past experiences, but also sometimes a surprising fear of success.
Fear of success. How does that work?
Yeah, it sounds odd, but change is unknown territory. Success might mean new responsibilities, changing relationships. It can trigger anxiety, leading to procrastination or subtle self-sabotage.
Interesting. What else internally?
Low self-worth and self-efficacy are huge. That core belief that you're not capable or deserving of recovery or a better life. Unresolved trauma and emotional blocks can make engagement feel overwhelming or unsafe, showing up as anxiety, depression, or dissociation.
Yeah.
And don't forget pervasive cognitive distortions and negative self-talk. Things like catastrophizing, all or nothing thinking.
Hmm.
They just relentlessly erode your resolve.
That internal critic can be loud.
Yeah.
And what about external barriers? What's pushing back from the outside?
Externally, the challenges can be immense. Stigma is a big one, leading to shame and isolation. A lack of social support or having a network that actively discourages change makes it incredibly hard.
Feeling alone in it.
Exactly.
Hmm.
Then there are frustrating systemic issues. Limited access to affordable quality care, long waiting lists, geographical barriers. These can stop participation cold, regardless of intention.
Systemic roadblocks.
Definitely. And finally, persistent environmental triggers and cues being around people, places, or things strongly associated with past unhealthy behaviors can severely test your resolve day in, day out.
It's a complex web.
Yeah.
So given all that, how do people navigate it? What helps overcome these multifaceted barriers?
It really requires a multi-pronged, resilient approach. Developing self-compassion and mindfulness is vital.
Being kinder to yourself.
Yes, and learning to observe those difficult thoughts and feelings without judgment, it creates space. Building a strong support system is crucial. Therapy groups, 12-step programs, supportive friends, family for encouragement and accountability.
Lean on others.
Absolutely. Skill building for emotional regulation and distress tolerance is key too. Learning techniques, often from DBT, like grounding, distraction, self-soothing, helps manage overwhelming emotions when triggers hit.
Practical tools for tough moments.
Exactly. And finally, advocacy and learning to navigate systemic challenges. Understanding insurance, finding community resources, becoming an informed patient advocate for yourself or others. That empowerment makes a difference. It's about building a really robust toolkit.
A comprehensive toolkit indeed. So wrapping this up, what we've really explored today is how intention and participation, they aren't just fuzzy concepts. They're tangible, dynamic forces.
Very tangible.
And when they genuinely align, they create this incredibly powerful engine for transformative change. It's taking that inner compass and actually truly sailing the ship.
And importantly, it's crucial to remember this alignment. It isn't a one-time thing you achieve and then you're done.
Right, not a finish line.
Not at all. It's an ongoing, dynamic process. The journey of healing, of growth, it's continuous. That balance between your internal commitment and your external actions will constantly be tested.
So the measure isn't perfection.
Definitely not. The true measure of progress lies more in your capacity to notice the drift and then to consciously realign, to recommit, and to re-engage, even after those inevitable stumbles or setbacks. It's about that continuous willingness to try again, to adjust the sails.
Beautifully put. As the essay we drew from says so eloquently, when we learn to consciously align what we intend with how we participate, we unlock a powerful catalyst for transformation that can carry us forward, even through the most challenging phases of the healing journey.
Mm-hmm.
This alignment is the very essence of empowerment, turning passive hope into active pursuit and ultimately leading to a life of sustained healing and wholeness. So we'll leave you with this thought to mull over.
Yeah.
Take a moment, maybe right now, just consider, where in your own life could you strengthen this vital alignment between your intentions and your actions? Where can you perhaps grab the rudder a little more firmly and truly steer?